Previously, on the practice.
We find the defendant, Scott Wallace, guilty.
You gotta get me out.
Scott.
Get me out!
You got a problem. The man is on the verge of a psychotic breakdown. He needs to be transferred to a mental facility right now.
We were hoping they'd order a new trial outright. We didn't get that, but with a hearing, if the judge determines that the brother did commit perjury, then we get a new trial. Mr. Barrett, you had a meeting with Richard Bay and Helen Gamble, did you not?
On the advice of counsel, I'm exercising my Fifth Amendment right not to answer your question.
I have been ordered to conduct a full hearing into this perjury business. That hearing has been thwarted by the primary witness exercising his Fifth Amendment right. The conviction of Scott Wallace is hereby set aside. It is the order of this court that he be granted a new trial.
What to expect when you're expecting? Somebody hears Pragos.
Lindsay, we might as well tell him.
Did you order that book?
Me? No.
That little witch tricked us. Either that or somebody else is pregnant. How did that book get here?
I ordered it. I want to keep it a secret until I'm sure everything's fine.
Who's the father?
I'm going to be a single parent.
It starts today.
It's a simple trial. One prosecution witness.
You can't put me on a case and expect that I'm...
Actually, I can, Eugene. Perks of the road. Now, he fired his last lawyer, just like the two before that, and I have an obligation to make sure he gets a fair trial with adequate representation.
Well, if you're so concerned with fairness, how about giving me time to fully prepare?
Well, I'm not that concerned. Let me be frank. The defendant is world-class scum. I'm sure he's guilty of the crime.
Well, I'm glad you have an open mind.
Oh, please. A mind is like a wound. If it's too open, you get an infection. Now, he is stalling by firing one attorney after another. I am not going to let him get away with it anymore.
Why me?
Because you're as good as it gets when it comes to criminal law. And I don't want to give this bastard a shot of appeal on inadequacy of counsel. So you will do it. Helen Gamble will be the DA. We all know how jolly she can be. See you in there. Go meet your lovely wife-murdering client.
I didn't do it. The cop just wanted to get his picture in the paper and credit for a big collar. I wasn't even there that night.
You lived there.
But I wasn't there that night. Look, did her and I have a fight? Yeah. Did I shoot her? No. They got one lousy witness, man. Eyewitness evidence is easy to shake, Mr. Young. It was dark. I was moving fast. No way he got a good, clear look.
So if called to testify, you'll say you were moving fast.
I'm talking allegedly. By his account, man, I wasn't there.
Right.
When I left in the afternoon, she was still alive. The cop is lying.
All right, look, I'm not saying the DA will go for a plea, but if I can...
No! I want you to beat it. One eyewitness at nighttime, man, you gotta be able to make reasonable doubt on that.
$6 months. On each count.
No. Total.
What?
This is a liberal judge, and he can go easy on sentencing. But, and this is important, he's probably going to tell you a story about Ray Charles.
What you mean about Ray Charles?
He lectures defendants. His favorite is the Ray Charles story. It's corny, but you have to take it seriously. I had a defendant snicker once, and this guy doubled the sentence. I want you to think sad thoughts and just get through it. And show remorse.
Okay.
You take responsibility for the crime. Don't be saying you never had the drugs.
Got it.
And whatever you do, don't laugh.
I'm looking at prison time, Mr. Berluti. Ain't gonna be no laughing.
She was unconscious. You were afraid of how it might look. You put her in the car to make it look like a suicide. It's what happened, isn't it?
This is the part that kills us. That's the bomb. This tape got admitted for impeachment, which prevented Scott from testifying.
You mean it made you keep him from testifying?
Right. I don't want to be in that position again.
If the judge let it in once, what makes you think he's going to change his mind now?
Judge Wolf isn't the judge for the new trial. We drew Judge Hiller.
I was responding to a report on a possible shooting. When I arrived at the house, I saw the defendant leaving the side door of the house running.
This man?
Yes.
What did you do next, officer?
I entered the premises and discovered the victim, an African-American female, approximately 30 years of age, with what apparently was a single gunshot wound to the head.
She was dead.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you next see the defendant, officer?
2 days later, I identified him in a police lineup as being the man I saw fleeing the house.
Thank you.
To your knowledge, sir, were any fingerprints found on the gun?
The gun was never retrieved.
Was any gunshot residue found on my client's hands?
No.
To your knowledge, was a trace metal test done to see if my client had even held a gun?
The test came back negative, but it was 2 days later.
Thank you, sir. You said you picked my client out of a police lineup. You recognized him?
Yes.
In fact, you had met my client before, hadn't you?
Once.
You had responded to a domestic conflict before at his residence?
Yes.
When you saw my client in the police lineup, is it possible you recognized him because you had met him before?
No, I recognized him both as a man I'd met before and as the man I saw fleeing the house the night of the shooting.
So the man was running out a side door?
Correct.
Toward the front of the house or the back?
The back.
So he was running away from you?
I got a good look at him.
He was running away from you, sir, at night?
I got a good look.
Why were you playing out of position?
What?
That's the term when you're outside your assigned area. A call came in of a possible shooting. You said you were on it, but you were outside your patrol area.
I wasn't that far outside my area.
You weren't the closest unit?
No.
Why'd you take the call?
I recognized the address.
Why were you playing out of position, officer?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
My client has been in drug programs. He's clean. He hasn't been using. He's willing to do community service upon release, Your Honor. In fact, it's something he wants to do.
And the Commonwealth is okay with 6 months?
We feel it's a little light, but we're not opposing.
All right. Step back. Mr. Babbitt, please rise. And before I sentence you, young man, I want to talk to you, not as a judge, but as a teacher, and perhaps as a friend. Now, I know that young men like you rarely have the benefit of a male influence in your community. Well, maybe for this one moment, in this very special place, I can be a father to you and a friend. I'd like to tell you a little story, a true story. Now, many years ago, a little child was born in the South. Poor, hungry, black, no direction. And more than that, he was blind. But this boy had a gift. His gift was music. People loved to sit and listen to this boy play the piano. But like you, he had a monkey on his back. The monkey of drug addiction. He was addicted to heroin. Lord God, he loved the needle. But you know what? Blind, black, addicted to drugs. He beat his monkey. Beat it, I tell you. And he went on to become a beloved American, a hero, a black, blind American hero. And that man had a name, son. His name was Mr. Raymond Charles. Now let this be the first day of the rest of your life, young soldier. A drug-free life. Go forward to make this world a better place.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
You think this is funny?
No, sir.
Well, I'm not impressed with your disrespect, Mr. Babbitt. Perhaps you're not quite ready to go back into the world.
Your Honor...
Never mind, Mr. Berluti. The defendant is sentenced to 18 months at Cedar Junction.
18 months?
Bailiff, take the defendant into custody. We're adjourned.
Let's go.
His personnel file?
Well, I see he's receiving psychiatric treatment.
That would be totally privileged.
Ordinarily, yes. But sometimes the courts have looked into the records of police officers when they're relevant to the case.
And what would be the relevance here?
I don't know, Your Honor. But you saw him up there. He's hiding something. And if there's anything in those files that goes to his credibility, I should be allowed access.
You haven't made any showing, and you can't make any offer of proof that there is anything.
Helen, come on. I just got this case with my morning cup of coffee. And I know Your Honor doesn't want to give this world-class citizen any grounds for appeal.
I'll tell you what, I will look at the report. If I see anything that's relevant, I'll let you look. Otherwise, forget it.
Taken out of context, it looks like an admission.
It was in complete context. What's more, silence is admissible. Failure to respond to an accusation made against you can legally be considered an admission.
First of all, that begs the conclusion that this was a voluntary communication.
Did your client not get Miranda?
He did, but he was in shock at the time. I have submitted to the court 3 psychiatric reports which question the voluntariness...
Oh, please, Mr. Donald. Defense lawyers can hire psychiatrists all the time to proclaim he didn't know what he was saying.
We have a man whose wife was found dead. And he was still trying to absorb that when the police suddenly handcuffed him. Next thing, he's in the room with a district attorney. A district attorney who now believes he's innocent, by the way.
She never said that.
It's too prejudicial to allow a jury to see it. It would bias them.
What Mr. Donald is saying is he doesn't trust juries. Well, that's the system of this country, and if it displeases him, perhaps he should move to Cuba.
Mr. Bay, did you see the sign, check your soapbox at the door?
No.
Do I need to hang one?
The bottom line question is whether the potential prejudice of this tape outweighs its probative value. The answer is yes. Let them try Scott Wallace on the evidence. And the evidence alone, not an emotional breakdown which occurred in the wake of an unimaginable tragedy. This man is in a psychiatric ward as we speak.
I've heard the arguments. I have your briefs. I'll take the matter under advisement and I'll rule. Thank you both.
It was totally my fault. I kept telling him not to laugh. I think I put so much pressure on him.
Why would you have to tell him not to laugh?
Well, he gets extremely nervous, and laughing is a reaction he has. That's why. I was so afraid he might get nervous and laugh here. I kept hounding him, and I just made it worse. He wasn't laughing at what you were saying, Your Honor. I promise you.
He sure seemed to be.
He's a nervous kid. He's facing jail. Who's gonna laugh at that? To triple his sentence? Please, Your Honor.
All right. I'll have him brought back in. We can re-sentence. But I'm giving you and your client a break, Mr. Berluti.
I understand that. And I'm very grateful, Judge.
My medical file?
If the judge thinks there's nothing relevant, they'll stay sealed. What's wrong?
I've been married 17 years. I have kids.
Paul, what's the matter? What's in the file?
I'm gay. When he said playing out of position, I thought for a second he knew. That's why he froze up there on the stand.
It is totally irrelevant.
That's my call, actually. But thanks for your input.
Well, I'm not so sure it is irrelevant. If this situation caused stress, which affected job performance...
Well, it didn't.
That's what it seems to suggest.
His sexual orientation did not impair his ability to make an ID of a fleeing suspect, Eugene.
Helen, this whole case turns on the credibility of this officer. If he was dealing with severe stress, I have to be allowed to cross-examine him.
First, this is so collateral.
I disagree.
And second, it will ruin the man's life.
And the conviction ruins another man's life.
You really want to go down that path?
Your Honor, you want to take me off this case? Fine. But as long as I'm on it...
You will be despicable.
I don't need that.
All right. I will let you introduce that he was receiving psychiatric treatment for stress. The cause of that stress is off limits.
I'd like to read the report.
Denied. And Eugene, you are not to even share this information with your client.
I don't think you can order that.
I just did.
So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling better, Bobby.
You look better.
No, I'm feeling good.
No more spots?
I want her to get you a couple of new suits for trial, so she'll need to take some measurements.
Well, this time I testify, right?
Well, let's see how the ruling goes on the videotape, but hopefully you'll testify yes.
Hey, you got any good news? All I give you here is Jell-O, damn it.
Second trials typically favor the defendant. There won't be any surprises this time, Scott. We'll be ready for Kyle Barrett.
Good. Excellent. Good.
And I just want to apologize to the court if I showed any disrespect. It wasn't my intent to offend you.
I understand from your attorney that you couldn't control yourself.
That's right.
All right. But before I resentence you, I'd like to tell you a little story about a woman who, like you, lacked control sometimes. Like you, she had an addiction. Her addiction was gambling. Like you, she wanted the fast life with fast cars. But she only got those things when she learned to control herself and beat her addiction. When she learned to work hard, and she did work hard, young man. She had the voice of an angel, and with her golden voice and hard work, she too beat her monkey. And that woman had a name, son. Her name was Miss Gladys Knight.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else.
Me too, I promise.
The defendant is hereby sentenced to 12 months on each count. The sentences to run consecutively.
2 years?
Bailiff, take the defendant into custody. We're adjourned.
He can't introduce it. He can only put it in that you were undergoing treatment for stress.
I've testified before. These lawyers trick you. What if he twists one of my answers and says I opened the door?
I will protect you. You have my word.
This Eugene Young has a reputation. What does he care if it's called a mistrial? For him,
Paul,
he'll do anything.
Within the law. Judge Kittleson was very clear in her ruling. Mr. Young will abide by it. Listen. You just answer yes. I suffered from stress and I sought treatment. It didn't affect me that night. Keep it as simple as that. But do not lie. Because then he can get in the other stuff through impeachment. Just answer the questions, don't elaborate, and I will protect you.
I have read both your briefs. I also watched the videotape again, and it is my conclusion Judge Wolf erred. Allowing the tape in for impeachment purposes, his legal rationale escapes me. This tape is outright admissible altogether. I'm permitting prosecution to use it as evidence. Mr. Donnell, if you think the statements or conduct of Mr. Wallace were a result of shock or trauma, you're free to raise that in your defense. That is all. The trial will begin next Tuesday at 9 a.m. We're adjourned.
I want to file a writ. If that tape...
Bobby, it was the right ruling.
I should at least try.
No, you shouldn't. We have 6 days to get ready for trial. You can't waste time on writs. Let's focus on what we can win now. You start preparing the psychiatric experts. I'll go over the transcripts with Eleanor.
I'm obviously pleased with the ruling. The Commonwealth has always felt that the statement was a de facto admission and that it was evidence. I'm satisfied that a jury will now get to consider that evidence. That is all.
Mr. Bay. Mr. Bay. Can I get a picture of Mr. Bay?
Officer Brewer, have you ever made arrests where the district attorneys have refused to prosecute?
Of course.
How many times?
I'm not sure.
More than 5?
Yes.
More than 10?
Sometimes there's insufficient evidence.
More than 20?
Objection. What's the point of this?
The point is this officer sometimes claims a crime has been committed only to have the DA say otherwise.
A district attorney's decision to dismiss often turns on the prospect of getting a conviction. It's not about overruling the arresting police officer.
Well, sometimes it does involve the honesty of the officer, and that's what I'm trying to explore.
I'll allow it.
Officer Brewer, how are you on the issue of honesty?
What is that supposed to mean?
Are you an honest person, sir?
Objection. Sounds like badgering.
Every witness, by testifying, puts his credibility in issue. And I'm allowed to explore this man's reputation for truthfulness.
The objection is overruled.
Do you consider yourself to be a truthful person, sir?
Yes.
You live a truthful life?
Objection.
Sustained.
Are you receiving psychiatric treatment, officer?
Yes.
Does one of the issues for which you are receiving treatment concern your ability to be truthful?
Objection.
Overruled.
It's beyond the scope.
I'll allow it.
Do you have trouble being truthful?
Yes.
In fact, you lie every day, don't you, officer?
Yes.
One of the reasons you sought psychiatric treatment is you were afraid your lying caused you such stress that it perhaps started to affect your job. Isn't that right, officer? Did you not hear the question, sir? I can repeat it.
I heard the question. The answer is yes.
Thank you, officer. I have nothing further.
Your Honor, 1 second he's about to get 6 months. Now he'll do 2 years? You know that isn't right.
Well, maybe next time that will mitigate your amusement when...
I apologize.
Apology accepted, but the sentence stands.
It's one thing to exercise discretion. It's another to flaunt your ego, and this...
Mr. Baluti, you are 2 seconds from contempt. And before you go skulking out of here, thinking of me as the bad judge, keep in mind that I was about to help your client, not only with a lesser sentence, but also with some advice that could help his life. Now, you defense attorneys get them off. What do? They go right back out and commit another crime. I try to reach them, and I do. I tried to reach your client, to offer his life some direction, like I have with so many before him. And he laughed, as did his attorney. Maybe it's your ego that needs adjustment.
I laughed because I've heard the Ray Charles story a zillion times, as have all the lawyers who appear before you. We all tell our clients it's funny. We all tell them not to laugh. We're all afraid they might laugh because it's so ridiculous. It's a joke, Your Honor. Poor, black, blind, this man had a named son. It's paternalistic, insulting. And all the lawyers laugh at you. I just made the mistake of doing it in the room. If that buys me a jail cell for contempt, so be it. But that's what's going on. You're naive to think you reach defendants. And if you punish them out of anger, you're also a bad judge.
Mr. Berluti, I will ask you once again to leave my chambers.
I'm filing a motion for reconsideration anyway, even though I can't stop you from doing what you're going to do.
You said you would protect me.
Everything he asked was arguably within the proper scope. I tried to shut him down.
You said you would protect me.
Well, I couldn't. Listen, Eugene Young is a very smart lawyer. He doesn't want the jury to know that you're gay or what the lie is actually about. He knows the jury would just dismiss it as irrelevant. Look, I'd like to introduce what you're untruthful about.
Excuse me?
Paul, if we don't fill in some of the blanks for the jury, your credibility is shot with them. If we tell them what Eugene is talking about, they'll know you're not dishonest.
And my family will know I'm gay. My partners will know. My life, my career.
You're basically the only witness we have. If we don't reestablish your credibility, I can't convict here.
No. I can't do what you're asking me to do.
Well, I don't need your consent, really. I'll figure out a way to get it on redirect if I have to.
I'll recant. I'll say it wasn't the defendant I saw that night.
No, you won't, Paul. You're an honest man.
No, I think Mr. Young established quite clearly that I'm not.
If you commit perjury, your life and career truly might be over.
I'll make my life decisions.
And I'll make mine.
I would submit to the court, given all the circumstances, and especially that the Commonwealth and the defense have submitted a joint recommendation.
That's all it is, Mr. Berluti. A recommendation. Either for the judge to accept or reject. I have chosen to reject it. And I find myself very annoyed that you are back before this bench with nothing new.
What's new? In addition to appearing as counsel for the defendant, I am here as an officer of this court. I am standing up for the integrity of this room. You were prepared to issue one sentence, then gave another because you got angry. You're entitled to belittle yourself as a man and as a judge. But when you belittle this room by abusing your discretion, I'm entitled to have something to say about it.
Is that all?
No, sir, it is not. I want to speak to you, not simply as a lawyer, but as a friend. There was this judge. She wasn't very judge-like at all. She had terrible manners. She rambled on the bench. She had a big mouth, and she was obnoxious. And she had an ego. Lord, she had an ego just like you, Your Honor. She also had a gift. She had the voice of a crow. And she beat her monkey. She relished being obnoxious. She was proud of mistreating people. And she used her ego and her crow-like voice to make millions of dollars. And she had a name, Your Honor. Her name was Judge Judy.
Mr. Berluti, you are in contempt of court. Bailiff, take him into custody.
Officer, how many times have you testified in criminal proceedings?
Probably over 40.
Have you ever been accused of perjury?
No,
Ever had a case of yours thrown out because of unreliable testimony on your part?
not one.
You also testified that you see a psychiatrist.
Yes,
Do your supervisors know about it?
my watch commander does.
Has he changed your assignments because of it? Put you on desk?
No,
You admitted to Mr. Young that you lie almost every day.
about a personal matter, yes.
Did it affect your work on this particular case?
No,
Did you lie about what happened the night Tasha Cooper was killed?
no, I did not.
Have you ever lied in your capacity as a police officer?
No, I have not.
When it comes to making observations, making arrests, giving testimony about those arrests, do you consider yourself to be a truthful person?
Yes, I do.
Who was the man you saw fleeing the house that night?
That man. There, the defendant.
Thank you, officer. I have nothing further.
It's a setback. I won't kid you.
Is this judge going to go against us?
No, she's extremely fair. She won't do us any favors, but this case won't be decided by her. This time, you will have to testify.
I'm ready.
I can handle all the witnesses. We're in good shape there. But that videotape and your response to it on the stand, that's what will decide this case.
Well, I have better focus now, Bobby. I mean, before I was still in grief. You know, I couldn't believe she was gone. But now, when I think of what she did, I mean, killing herself right after we had a fight, I mean, that was an angry act, Bobby. I mean, that wasn't depression. She was doing it to me. That was hateful. And right now, I hate her.
Scott.
I hate her, and I'm not going to lie in some wallow any longer. Everything is easier now being angry at her. I have my focus back. I hate her.
One eyewitness who sees a man at night from the side running away from him. Could he describe him? Black, medium build. No clothes, no distinguishing characteristics, just black, medium build. A black man in the dark running away 3-4 seconds, but he got a good look. Now, we all know what happened here. That man saw somebody running. He then sees the wife dead, figures it must have been the husband he saw going out the door. He then picks the husband out of a lineup. But that was easy, because he had met the husband before. No weapon. No gunshot residue on my client's hands. Nothing to suggest he had even held a gun, much less fired one. That police officer made a guess, and he's sticking by his hunch. That's what this is, and we all know it. 1 3-second ID in the dark by a self-confessed liar, that isn't proof. Their whole case comes down to the say-so of a man receiving psychiatric treatment to deal with stress caused by his inability to tell the truth. Do I really need to stand here and tell you there's reasonable doubt?
No other prints, no DNA, no physical or testimonial evidence to even suggest that anyone else was in that house that night. No other cars in the area. The intruder fled on foot. It was that man fleeing the house. Officer Brewer saw him. He was unequivocal in that. The defendant, Brian Grant, was the man he saw leave that house. Defense has offered neither evidence nor testimony to shake that ID. All Mr. Young could seize upon was some psychiatric treatment that Officer Brewer is undergoing for a personal matter. Yes, he lies about something in his personal life. Big deal, we get that. But he doesn't lie as a police officer. It doesn't make him an unreliable witness. In fact, in 21 years, Officer Brewer has had an exemplary record of honesty on the force. He's never given untruthful testimony. He's never been a false witness. His honor has been beyond reproach, just as his testimony is here when he tells you that's the man he saw leave that house. You haven't heard one word suggesting that anyone else committed this murder. Gee, I wonder why. He's home alone with his wife. He shot her. He's seen running out. That's why we're here.
Go. The only reason I don't keep you overnight, for what I deem to be criminal disrespect. How long have they been laughing at me?
Long time. How long you been telling that Ray Charles story?
At least I try to do something. I care, at least. Most judges. Tell your client I'll give him 6 months. Beat it.
That's it?
You want a story first, counsel?
No.
Just go.
Came back kind of fast. That mean anything?
Usually it means it was a quick decision.
Mr. Grant, the court will ask you to stand, please. Mr. Foreman, has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
What say you?
Commonwealth versus Brian Grant. On the charge of murder in the first degree, we find the defendant, Brian Grant, not guilty. On the charge of murder in the second degree, we find the defendant, Brian Grant, not guilty.
Members of the jury, your service is completed, and we thank you. The defendant is free to go, and we are adjourned.
Wow. Thanks, man.
Sure.
Innocent till proven guilty. The motto lives.
We'll see you next time.
Good one.
I'm sorry we didn't get him.
Yeah,
Did our best.
Miss Gamble. Thank you.
I wish you well, Paul.
You too.
I really appreciate you coming in with your client.
It's against my better judgment.
I totally understand. It's just lawyer to lawyer. You're aware that Helen Gamble believes your client committed perjury in the first trial.
Ms. Gamble was mistaken.
Yes, well, I don't believe she was.
Mr. Donnell, I'm confused as to the agenda here. Certainly
the
we
agenda
could have...
is this. I'm putting you on notice. If your client takes the stand again and lies, I'll be taking his house.
Bobby?
Tell him, Mr. Stone. Tell him the exposure he faces. Abuse of process, false imprisonment.
I don't know what you think you're doing.
If he lies again, I'll be filing a complaint against you for suborning perjury.
I'm reporting this to the district attorney's office.
You do that, but in the meantime, get around to giving your client some legal advice.
Come on, Kyle.
Tell him what I'll do to him, Mr. Stone.
You just crossed the line, Mr. Donnell.
We're just two lawyers talking, Mr. Stone. Just you and me.
What the hell do you call that?
I call intimidating a lead witness for the prosecution. I gotta keep that lying bastard out of the witness chair.
You've got a lawyer in there who just threatened my client.
Really? With you there? Call the police.
Come here.
I came to congratulate you.
And I get a personal visit for that.
That. And the police just got into a shootout with the man who fired back with the gun used to kill Tasha Cooper. He matched the description of the suspect Officer Brewer saw running, and he also confessed to the crime. I know you didn't care if your client was guilty. I thought you might be interested to know he was innocent.
Previously, on the practice.
My client was in shock at the time of this interrogation. He had just found his wife dead less than an hour before this.
She said that if she turned up missing, that I should call the police, because Scott probably did something to her.
Objection!
We find the defendant, Scott Wallace, guilty.
Yeah, you gotta get me out.
Scott.
Get me out!
You got a problem. The man is on the verge of a psychotic breakdown. He needs to be transferred to a mental facility right now.
I'm convinced that Kyle Barrett lied on the stand after being coached by the prosecution.
Mr. Barrett, you had a meeting with Richard Bay and Helen Gamble, did you not?
On the advice of counsel, I'm exercising my Fifth Amendment right not to answer your question.
I have been ordered to conduct a full hearing into this perjury business. That hearing has been thwarted by the primary witness exercising his Fifth Amendment right. The conviction of Scott Wallace is hereby set aside. It is the order of this court that he be granted a new trial.
This is the part that kills us. That's the bomb. This time, you will have to testify. I can handle all the witnesses. We're in good shape there. But that videotape and your response to it on the stand, that's what will decide this case.
I'm ready.
Do you feel pressure because he's your friend, or because you failed him?
Both. I want to get him out because I care about him, and yeah, because I tried a lousy case.
Of course I feel pressure. How could I not? This guy committed murder. And the only thing standing between him and the street is me.
It's a bit unusual for the lead prosecutor to suddenly flip and think he's innocent.
Helen Gamble started feeling guilty over tactics, and she became clouded by her conscience. That's all.
She claims you coached a witness to lie.
She's wrong.
Richard Bay will do anything. DAs like him make it easier for defense attorneys like me to stay passionate about what we do because, to me, he basically represents a police state.
Oh, I don't expect it to be at all civil. Bobby Donnell fights for clients like it was his life on the line. And Richard Bay prosecutes like the victim was his mother.
Isn't that good? Zealous advocates? Isn't that what it should be about?
One would think. But when fights get this ugly, it's rarely in the interest of truth. It's messy. It gets personal.
You think you'll win?
I know I will.
How can you be so sure?
Because this time I have the video. which means Scott Wallace will have to take the stand and explain it. And when he does, I'll get him. He'll lose it up there. You watch. Witnesses are never objective. Of course, I want you to appear neutral, but you need to be every bit the advocate I am. Never forget, your goal is to help the prosecution secure a conviction, to put a murderer in prison. That means you're going to have to stand up to Bobby Donnell. He can't be steered. And he will absolutely try to do just that. His whole defense is reasonable doubt. Every question he asks you, it's to build reasonable doubt. At the first trial, he got you all to admit things were possible, and you all did so, too submissively. This is why I brought Cindy Keller in tonight. She's our behavioral psychologist.
When the defense lawyer forces you to say the words that he wants you to say, you can nevertheless use body language to convey your opinion.
It's all a presentation, and you have to train your witnesses to be showmen a little. The key is, they can't come off too much like advocates. If they do, they have less credibility. We used to have an advantage. People trusted the police. That advantage is gone now.
Because they cheat. And Richard Bay will cheat. He absolutely will.
That seems to be a refrain with you.
One that I have to be mindful of the entire trial.
What will be different about this trial?
I'm going to win.
I mean, tactics, evidence, witnesses. What will be different there?
That tape. That damn videotape. He'll play it every chance he gets.
We think you had an argument. You hit her. Maybe by accident. She was unconscious. You were afraid of how it might look. You put her in the car to make it look like a suicide. That's what happened, isn't it?
Detective Larson, does that videotape fairly and accurately depict what happened in that room?
Yes, it does.
What did happen in that room?
From my experience, Scott Wallace admitted to killing his wife.
Objection.
Overruled.
Did he ever say he killed his wife?
No, but...
In fact, he maintained his innocence, and he still does, doesn't he, Detective?
But when
you say admitted, you mean the behavior we just witnessed on this tape. Right, Detective?
Correct.
With words, he's always maintained his innocence, hasn't he, Detective?
With words, yes.
Are you a psychologist, Detective?
No, I'm not.
And if a psychologist was of the opinion that Mr. Wallace's behavior on that tape...
Objection, he's trying to introduce psychiatric...
I'm posing a hypothetical to the witness.
I'll allow it.
If a psychologist looked at that tape and concluded that it did not constitute an admission to the crime, do you have any medical training which would enable you to overrule him?
Do I have any medical training? No.
Thank you, Detective. That's all.
How many suspects have you interrogated in the course of your career?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. Do you think you would recognize a silent admission if you saw one?
Absolutely.
Based on your experience as a police officer who has conducted hundreds of interrogations, what did Scott Wallace's silence convey to you?
An admission that he committed murder.
Thank you.
Do you have any formal training in behavioral psychology?
No, I don't.
Thank you.
When we first started, it was just Bobby and me, and he was so wide-eyed. Every case, his eyes. Oh, and if it was a murder case, God, the light coming out from his eyes. And it didn't bother him a bit if the guy was probably guilty. You know, he'd say, Beck, we defend the guilty because ultimately it protects the innocent. Or he'd say that was the high. You know, when you got a guy that was actually innocent. And now, he hates it when they're innocent. Like this one. It's too much pressure. I mean, that's why none of us last on this job. You can only bear it defending the guilty. And how long can anyone last doing that?
He was screaming at her, calling her a liar, and she was pleading with him to stop screaming.
Are you sure this was around 9:30 p.m.?
Yes, that's when I walk my dog.
You recognized my client's voice screaming because you'd heard him scream before?
Many times.
So there wasn't anything hugely unusual about them arguing that night?
No, they fought a lot.
And in fact, you didn't call the police or try to intervene, did you, sir?
No.
I wasn't crazy about calling that witness in the first trial. I wasn't thrilled about it here. But I have to establish a timeline. As a rule, when you come across anemic little wimps like Mr. Berenson, who haven't got the guts to get involved at the time, you can be sure they'll be pretty impotent as witnesses, too. But I needed to get in the timeline.
Why are you so sure he's innocent?
Because I am. I know him. Plus, he passed the polygraph. That's what really gets me. I mean, they may not be admissible, but lie detectors are pretty damn reliable. And the prosecution and the police, they believe in them more than I do. Here we got a guy who passes over and over and over, and they still prosecute.
Why, do you think?
Because the media declared this a murder, and there was an ensuing public outcry to get a conviction.
There seems to be such a huge distrust here.
You have no idea. When I first started, the DAs and defense attorneys, we all go out at the end of the day. There were watering holes where we congregate, swap stories. You fought hard in court, but after, it was a brotherhood. Today, we go our separate ways. They don't trust us, we don't trust them.
What happened?
It became too much about winning and losing.
We analyzed a skin fragment found under the defendant's fingernail. It was a genetic match to Mrs. Wallace.
Did you do any other DNA testing, Dr. Wang?
Oh, yes. We found shed skin cells all over the victim's head and neck. They belong to the defendant, Scott Wallace.
If Scott Wallace were trying to save his wife, resuscitate her, it's possible his skin cells could have gotten on her that way. Am I right?
In my experience, that would be unlikely.
I asked if it were possible.
I suppose it's possible.
And it's possible, isn't it, Doctor, that Mrs. Wallace had decided she wanted to compete in the Olympics, and while practicing a backflip, she accidentally hit her head on a blunt instrument being held by the defendant.
Objection!
As long as we're going for far-fetched possibilities.
All right, Mr. Bay, that is quite enough.
Dr. Wang, based on your years of experience as a forensic pathologist, did you form an opinion as to the likelihood of what happened?
Yes, I did.
Could you state that for the court, please?
She was killed by the defendant.
The defense has suggested Mr. Wallace discovered his wife in the car. She wasn't breathing. He pulled her out, and her head struck the concrete floor, causing the fracture.
Yes, I think this is a bit of a fairy tale. The fracture, she was hit very hard. Is it possible that she could have gotten this after she died by her head hitting the floor? Anything's possible. My medical opinion is somebody hit her.
Doctor, in the first trial, you testified that this fracture was severe enough to be fatal. Didn't you say that?
I did.
Was it the cause of death?
No, the cause of death was monoxide poisoning.
So it's possible that the head fracture came after she died of the car exhaust, right?
That's not what I think happened. I can't declare it to be impossible.
Doctor, you're employed by the Commonwealth, aren't you?
Yes.
Do you ever get afraid of losing your job if you don't secure convictions?
Objection.
Sustained.
Goes to bias, Your Honor.
The objection is sustained, that's it. Now let's move on.
It's what he does when he's losing. It's an excellent sign for the prosecution when Bobby Donald starts to resort to crap like that. It means he thinks he's losing. In the first trial, he was getting his possibles, then resting. He was more desperate just then. Did you see it? He's going down again. This time with nothing to appeal.
Well, you know, I keep thinking it'll all get corrected. You know, and they've made this terrible mistake, and this is the land of truth and justice. It'll all get cleared up. But here I am.
The thinking is, for you to get acquitted, it'll come down to your testimony.
Yeah, I know this. I know this.
Are you scared?
It's way beyond that now.
I think that's enough. That's all.
The arrangement is complete access.
Well, that's all. You have to leave.
Bobby, Kyle Barrett isn't testifying.
Why?
They just notified the court they're arresting. We're up.
Well, call Dr. Murphy. He's gonna...
I did. He's on his way.
Why isn't her brother testifying?
I don't need him. Plus, he'd get peeled like an onion up there. He's a liability.
I thought you said he was telling the truth.
I never said that. I only said I don't know if he's lying.
That sounds a little questionable.
Hey, question away. I only put on the witnesses I think will help me win. Kyle Barrett doesn't qualify.
But this is the witness who got you the conviction in the first trial.
In the first trial, I didn't have the video.
Scott Wallace was suffering from clinical depression.
Were you able to determine the cause, Doctor?
Twin positional traumas. The first was his wife's death. The second, his being accused of that death.
Doctor, you recommended that Scott Wallace be hospitalized, did you not?
I did.
Can you tell us why?
I found him to be very close to a complete mental breakdown.
Doctor, you've seen this tape before. I want to play you a small portion again.
It looked like a suicide. It's what happened, isn't it?
You've heard the prosecution characterize that moment as an admission of guilt by Scott Wallace.
Well, I think that conclusion is as dangerous as it is absurd. He'd only just discovered within the last 2 hours that his wife was dead. Then he's taken down to the police station. He's hit with the accusation that he murdered her. Now, to a guilty man, that wouldn't be as much of a shock. But to an innocent one, that could cause the very trauma I'm talking about.
And when he dropped his head?
It was in shock. That was likely the beginning of his breakdown.
You can state that for a medical certainty?
No, but...
And you were not in the room at the time, were you, Doctor?
No, I was not.
You spoke of twin positional traumas, one of those traumas being the loss of his wife.
Yes?
For this to be so, he would have to have loved his wife very deeply, I assume.
And he did, from my observations.
Well, if this wife, who he loved deeply, told him she was leaving him, couldn't that be traumatic?
Certainly.
Is it possible that's when this mental breakdown started, when she said she was leaving him?
I suppose it's possible, but I don't think likely.
Doctor, according to your diagnosis, you said Scott Wallace was in danger of becoming psychotic, didn't you?
He never became psychotic, Mr. Bay.
Sometimes, when you get a tough witness, you take what you can get and sit the hell down. I thought I handled him well.
And now you have the victim's psychiatrist.
I'm not afraid of him.
How can you not be? He's going to testify that she was depressed.
He'll say depressed. Then on cross, I'll get him to say she wasn't suicidal. Then on redirect, Bobby will claim he has motive to say she wasn't suicidal, so he doesn't have her blood on his hands. It's vintage Bobby Donnell. He gets a witness to help him, then he hangs him out. You watch.
You seem a little more agitated now.
I'm not agitated. This is adrenaline. It's a fight. I'm not agitated.
My little informal poll in the gallery? They think you're losing.
I'm not losing.
Why would people think you are?
Because with galleries, it's about popularity. Bobby Donnell is good looking. With juries, it's about weighing evidence, and they'll do that. I'm not losing.
What were you treating Karen Wallace for?
Anxiety, depression.
Depression?
Yes.
What was she depressed over?
Mainly her marriage. She felt it was rather loveless. Also her life.
Did you regard her as suicidal?
No, I did not.
But, Doctor, now that she's turned up dead, do you now think perhaps she was suicidal?
No, I do not. Many people experience depression and hopelessness, That doesn't mean they take their lives. I mean, the very reason that Mrs. Wallace had come to me was to improve things. She was looking forward. I don't believe at all that she had the mental state to take her own life.
How did it make you feel to learn that a patient you had been treating for depression killed herself?
Obviously, it was distressing to hear it.
Certainly, a person experiencing hopelessness, suffering depression, found dead from monoxide poisoning with a hose connected to the exhaust pipe of the car, you had to wonder if maybe she did kill herself. Didn't you at least wonder, Doctor?
I wondered, but I still don't believe she took her life.
Well, if it were foreseeable that she might take her life and you did nothing, you might be held liable. Isn't that right, Doctor?
What are you saying, Mr. Donald?
I'm saying you have motive to deny she was suicidal.
Objection, leading.
After she's found dead, you don't even notify the police that you were treating her?
No.
What were you trying to hide?
Objection.
Permission to treat the witness as hostile.
Objection.
Overruled.
Why not come forward to anybody and say, hey, I was treating her?
There's a privilege.
Which does not survive the patient's death. You were trying to hide the fact that you were treating her because you knew she was potentially suicidal.
I knew nothing of the sort.
Mrs. Wallace, just like you are now. You let this man go down because you were afraid of being hit with a judgment.
All right, Mr. Donald, dial it back.
Did you tell that witness you would be going after him like that?
No.
Because?
Because I needed him. And he never would have cooperated knowing what he was in for.
Why didn't you just call him as a hostile witness to begin with?
Because I knew I'd get more out of him this way.
First as an ally and then blindsiding him.
I don't think I blindsided him, but yes.
Don't you think that perpetuates the very distrust you spoke of before between DAs and defense attorneys?
My goal here isn't to repair trust. It's to get an acquittal.
And you're comfortable with yourself?
Yes.
The truth is, he isn't comfortable. And when he and Lindsay have this baby, it's going to be the beginning of the end of his criminal defense days.
Why?
Because with Bobby, this job is who he is. And when he starts to see himself through his son's eyes or his daughter's eyes, forget it. It's over.
It's gone as well as we could have expected. That videotape is still the biggest piece of evidence, and you'll have to account for it.
I understand.
Just tell the truth, Scott. Truth is on our side here.
Yeah. You want to go over my testimony again, or?
Actually, I prefer not to. I don't want it coming off rehearsed. Now, Richard Bay. He's going to come at you all rabid. That's his style. I can protect you, but I prefer not to.
I can handle him.
Lastly, your anger towards your wife for what she did to you. Let's play that down tomorrow. We don't want them seeing anger.
Okay.
You all right, Scott?
I'm nervous. Other than that...
You look scared.
This has been a long haul.
Have you seen any good appeal issues so far?
No. That's the thing about Judge Hiller. Her trials don't get overturned.
So basically, if you don't win here, Scott Wallace is never coming out. Were you surprised Bobby said yes to the cameras?
Not really. If he loses, he hopes you catch some prosecutorial misconduct on tape, give him grounds for appeal.
What if he wins and Richard Bay spots misconduct on Bobby's part?
Doesn't matter. Double jeopardy. Not guilty is not guilty.
Kevin?
No comment.
Bay's got the monitor set up. It looks like he plans to show the tape again.
What a shock. You tell Scott?
He's ready.
She just announced that she planned to leave me.
Did you see this coming?
Not at all. We'd had our problems, and I knew she was unhappy, but I never expected her to walk out.
Did you want to stay married?
Yes, I asked if we could get therapy. She said it was too late. She'd already made up her mind, and she said that she wanted to live life without me. She said it had been years since she felt the slightest twinge of happiness with me. I mean, that was how she put it, the slightest twinge. And she said she wanted out.
And then what happened?
We argued. We engaged in some name-calling.
Did you call her a liar?
Among other things, yeah. And then I went upstairs to the bedroom, got ready for bed, and watched TV.
Your wife tells you she's leaving you and you watch television?
Well, I had hoped that when she came up, after things calmed down a little bit, that I could, maybe talk her out of it.
So what happened?
Well, I waited. After about an hour and a half, she still hadn't come up, so I figured she probably had a drink and decided to sleep on the couch. So I went down, and she wasn't there. So I thought, well, maybe she left. But I thought I would have heard the car pull out. So I went to check. And when I opened the door to the garage, I just smelled the exhaust. And it was all smoky in there.
And then what?
I went in, and I had to open the garage door because I couldn't breathe the exhaust, and I saw the hose.
Mr. Wallace?
It was a garden hose. It was taped to the exhaust of the exhaust pipe of the car, and the car was running, and the hose went into the front window.
What'd you do then?
I ran to the car. I opened the door, and there she was. Her head was back, and her eyes were closed, and she wasn't breathing. She looked like she was sleeping. I screamed, "Karen," and I shook her. She wouldn't wake up, and I pulled her out. She fell. And I tried giving her mouth-to-mouth and chest compressions, but she wasn't breathing. She didn't have a pulse. I kept holding her nose closed and trying to blow air in her lungs, but she wouldn't come back. She wouldn't come back.
And when the police arrived, did you tell them all this?
Yeah. They asked me to come to the station.
Scott, on that videotape, when they accused you of killing Karen, why didn't you deny it?
I don't think I could believe what I was even hearing. I mean, I still couldn't believe she was dead, and then some district attorney was saying that I killed her. I remember feeling nauseous and like I was going to black out.
I'm going to give you another chance to answer that question. Did you kill your wife?
No. I'm sorry. It's just for 6 months you have been asking me not to speak to anyone, and I never have, and I waited for this day to come before everyone and finally say, I didn't kill her. I did not commit any crime.
Thank you.
You're an investment banker. Is that correct, Mr. Wallace?
Yes, that's right.
In the month or so prior to your wife's sudden death, how are things going for you at work?
Well, it had been rough. The market was off.
Had you been told you might be let go?
Well, my firm was scaling back, yes. I was told that my position was tenuous.
How about your own personal assets? You suffered some losses, hadn't you?
Few, yes.
At the time of your wife's sudden death, you were nearly broke, weren't you, sir?
Well, I would hardly say I was broke, Mr. Bay. I did live in $1 million house.
Fully paid for?
No. We had a mortgage of about $400,000.
Any other assets?
My savings, some stocks.
Totaling more or less than $50,000 at the time of your wife's sudden death?
At the exact time, less. But stocks have a...
Thank you, sir. So at the time of your wife's sudden death, your assets totaled about $650,000. A divorce would have cut that in half. Add to that attorney fees plus alimony, plus you were looking at unemployment. Did you have a life insurance policy on your wife at the time of her sudden death?
Objection.
Overruled.
Did you, sir?
There were life insurance policies for both of us.
The policy was to pay you over $1 million in the event of her death. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
When did you renew that policy, sir?
We both renewed
When did you both renew that policy?
Oh, I think it was around May.
Approximately a month before her sudden death. Did you kill your wife for money, sir?
No, I did not.
Gee, you seem capable of denying it now.
Objection.
Sustained.
You've got a suicidal woman on your hands. You get into a big fight, and you go upstairs and watch television?
Well, I didn't know she was on the verge of taking her life. And hey, look, I was angry that night, too.
Angry enough to kill her?
No.
Angry enough to have a mental breakdown? Angry enough to have a mental breakdown, sir.
Objection calls for a medical opinion.
I'll put it in layman's terms. Angry enough to snap?
No.
You're about to lose your job. You've already lost your money. Now you're hit with losing your wife, your house. You weren't going to let that happen, were you, Mr. Wallace?
That's not the way it happened.
You snapped.
You
hit her from behind.
I never
hit
my wife.
Knew you were
I didn't.
caught.
And I did no such thing.
We saw the tape.
I explained.
You killed your wife.
I did not.
Are you about to get violent, Mr. Wallace?
Objection!
Withdrawn. Nothing further.
Chambers, Your Honor. It's bad faith.
Bad faith?
Never, ever in the first trial did they suggest financial gain as motive. None of the police ever said it. Now suddenly,
so what?
You decide on a new motive between the first and the second trial.
Why can't I?
Without any new evidence, that amounts to unfair surprise.
Oh, you
can't
gotta
just
be
fabricate a
kidding
new
me.
motive.
All right. Bobby, there is nothing to prevent the prosecution from changing strategies.
At a minimum, it's bad faith. If he truly believes that money was a motive, they would have argued it in the first trial.
I didn't try the first one. Helen Gamble did.
Oh, come on, Richard.
What are you asking for?
The Commonwealth does not have a good faith belief in its motive theory, and to spring it at a second trial constitutes unfair surprise, and I'm asking that it be stricken.
Forget it.
Your Honor.
Don't even waste my time, Bobby. You don't know what Mr. Bay does or does not believe. They are not bound by the strategy of the first trial.
Do you believe it? That he killed her for money?
I certainly don't know that he didn't.
That wasn't my question.
You're not asking a question, you're making an accusation, and I'm getting sick of it. The idea of giving you access was to let you observe. It wasn't for you to charge in here with opinions.
Was I doing that?
Yes. You've been doing that, and I'm getting fed up. You want to point your damn cameras? Fine. But enough with the judgments.
What are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking this is why you shouldn't represent people you feel emotionally. Family members, friends. The best legal advice you can give them is to hire somebody else.
You think you've tried a bad case again?
I was caught off guard with motive. I let the jury see me angry with a witness. Yeah. I made some mistakes.
I don't agree.
What do you think, Lindsay?
I think it's pretty even. And ties go to the defendants in this business. Bobby closes a lot better than Richard Bay. This isn't over.
The question I have, you have a client charged with a violent, angry crime, You told him not to flash anger. What happened?
I don't know.
When I first became a lawyer, I used to call my mother and tell her about my cases. I'd explain all the intricacies, and she'd get bored and snap at me, just nutshell the damn thing. And I discovered, when I did nutshell, most of those cases which I thought were so complicated were actually quite simple. The nutshell on this one. Man in financial trouble renews insurance policy on wife. She announces she's leaving him. She's found dead with a whack on the back of the head. That pretty much says it all. In the way of proof, there's certainly a lot more. All the DNA evidence points to him. Not most of it, all. Her skin found under his fingernails. His skin cells and prints found on her head and neck. His admission caught right on videotape. His anger displayed right here on the stand. His own treating psychiatrist diagnosed him borderline psychotic. She didn't commit suicide. The psychiatrist who was treating Karen Wallace, he told you she wasn't suicidal. This woman was murdered. All the evidence tells you so. And Scott Wallace...
You put her in the car to make it look like a suicide. That's what happened, isn't it?
He told you so too, didn't he?
The only reason Scott Wallace was ever arrested was that perceived admission. The DNA evidence, the head fracture, all that came from him trying to save her. The prosecution's entire case is his reaction to being accused of the murder. It wasn't a normal reaction, they say. That's not how people normally respond. Have you ever been in this situation? Your wife died recently? Your husband? Any of you accused of murdering a spouse in the immediate wake of discovering the death? We're really going to sit here and discuss normal reactions? Seems to me a mental breakdown of some sort is the most normal. That's what Dr. Murphy told you Scott was experiencing. Scott himself told you that. He was feeling nauseous in that interrogation, about to black out. As Dr. Murphy said, he was suffering from twin positional traumas. How dare they charge him with murder because they didn't like the way he responded to being accused? They better have more than that, and they don't. And now the DA wants you to find guilt because Scott Wallace got angry in the witness chair. Oh, you saw his rage, didn't you? Let's convict on that. First they arrest him because he didn't get angry, and now they want you to convict because he did. You know, people ask me how I can spend my days being a criminal defense lawyer. Defending guilty people. Well, I am in this to defend the innocent ones. And there's an innocent one sitting right over there. For 6 months now, they've kept him locked up. He couldn't even go to her funeral. He's never been to her grave. They've taken away his life. Karen Wallace took her own. The police have taken his. Enough is enough. give freedom back to an innocent man.
Nutshell. Borderline psychotic man in financial trouble renews insurance policy on wife a month before her death. She threatens to leave him. He's heard screaming at her. She's found dead with a fractured skull. When accused of the crime, he doesn't even deny it.
You like Bobby Donnell, personally?
He's a pretty good guy.
It's one thing for two men looking at the same evidence to have different opinions, but you two seem so convinced in opposite directions.
DAs come to prosecute those they believe to be guilty. Defense attorneys come to believe those they choose to defend.
Well, that certainly makes the DAs sound more noble.
We are.
Does he usually hibernate when he waits for a verdict?
Yeah. Waiting can be a killer. A lot of lawyers just go about other business. Bobby, he can't.
Aren't there other clients?
Plenty. And he could be out right now bringing in new ones. Bobby Donnell. If you're looking to build a law practice, he's not the guy to hire. But if you ever get charged with murder...
Hotline. Hello? Okay, thank you. Jury's back.
Mr. Wallace, would you please rise? The jury has reached its verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
What say you?
Commonwealth versus Scott Wallace. On count 1, murder in the first degree, we find the defendant, Scott Wallace, not guilty. Count 2, murder in the second degree, we find the defendant, Scott Wallace, not guilty.
Members of the jury, this concludes your service. On behalf of the Commonwealth, I thank you. Mr. Wallace, you are free to go. We are adjourned.
Thank you, buddy.
It wasn't as ugly as you predicted.
No. I thought they all behaved very well. It was nice to see for a change.
Do you think it was the right result?
Probably. I suppose there was reasonable doubt.
But do you think it was the right result?
I haven't the slightest idea.